in advance exactly what that experience needs to be, and then make sure that everything in your company achieves that wonderful experience. So if the customer experience was perfect, what would have to happen? What would have to happen for the customer to be really, really happy that they bought from you? Here's a better question. If your customers could say anything to other people about you and the way you treated them, what would you want them to say? What are the specific words or descriptions? Would you want them to say, that's the best company I ever dealt with? Those are the most wonderful people. They have the fastest and best service I ever had. They have the greatest products. What would you want people to say about you? And what can you do to make sure that after dealing with you, people say this about you spontaneously to other people in the marketplace? That's the key. Now, there are 4 factors in any product or service that determine customer satisfaction. This is based on some very good work at Harvard University, and it's important that you understand what they are. The first is what is called the generic or basic product. Let's say that you sell computers. The computer is a generic product. It comes in a box. You set it up. It performs certain functions. People absolutely have to get the basic product that they ordered and paid for. The second factor is what is called the expected product. Now, the expected product is something that's not necessarily written down, but the customer expects to get it in a proper box with proper padding, with proper instructions. They expect it to be clean, new, with no scratches or blemishes. You didn't write that down anywhere, but this is what they expect. And we find that the starting point of customer dissatisfaction is called frustrated expectations. They expected to get it at a certain date, and it didn't come. They expected to get it in a certain box or form, and it didn't arrive. They expected it would be set up once it was delivered, and your repair person never showed up. If you don't give people what they expected, even though you haven't emphasized it, then they become dissatisfied immediately. So let's say you've now delivered the generic product, and you delivered the expected but unwritten product. The next part that generates customer satisfaction is called the augmented product. Now, the augmented product is what you add to the product that makes it different. It's like the baker's dozen, when the baker would sell a dozen rolls and put in a 13th roll. That's not expected. It's not part of the basic product, but it adds to the treatment. And what if the baker wraps up the bag and puts a ribbon on it? And what if the baker wraps up the bag, puts in the extra roll, and gives the person a carnation or a flower when they leave the shop? In other words, these are the little things that you do that exceed the expectations of your customers. Now, here's an important point. If you give something extra each time that exceeds expectation, it soon becomes an expectation and no longer has a motivational power on the customer. So once a person starts to add something additional repeatedly, that becomes the expected product. And if the customer doesn't get it, then they become real irritable. And finally, and this is the great area of creativity, there is what is called the potential product. Now, this potential product is limited only by your imagination. It's all the different things that you could do to add to your product or service that nobody has even thought about, that stands out in your customer's mind and makes your customer especially happy that they bought from you. So every single day you must be thinking, what is our basic product? What is the expected product? What are the augments or additional things that we can add to the product? But what are all the things that we could do to make our customers really happy that they bought from us? That's the key to the future. Now, human beings are primarily emotional. That means that the way you treat them as people is all important in business. I have worked with companies that buy million-dollar products or sell million-dollar products in very competitive industries, and they make the decision to pay millions of dollars because of the personality of 1 or 2 people in the company that cause them to like them because they treat them so well. So don't ever underestimate the importance of treating people really, really well. Well, Harvard did some research some years ago about quality, and they asked people, how important is quality to you? And people said quality is all important. And so they asked, well, how do you define quality? And they found that